Picture this. You're watching a crucial match. A midfielder spots a tiny gap in the defensive line and threads a perfectly weighted through ball. The striker makes the run, the flag stays down. It's a moment of pure, uninterrupted football magic. But what actually happens in the very next millisecond? Behind the scenes, beneath the grass, and way up in the stadium roof, a massive digital ecosystem instantly wakes up. We're going to freeze time right at the exact moment of that pass and trace the hidden digital chain reaction that literally dictates the modern game. Welcome to this explainer, where we're peeling back the layers of the hidden technology powering the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We're not just looking at a bunch of isolated gadgets today. Think of this as a systems documentary. We're tracking the actors, the exact data transfers, the automated decisions, and the critical failure boundaries that make up the tournament's invisible architecture. Here's our blueprint for today. First, the anatomy of a pass. Second, the offside decision engine. Third, the human authority chain. Fourth, why goal line tech is totally different. And finally, expanding the data ecosystem. All right, part one, the anatomy of a pass, starting with the TRIONDA sensor. To trace this micro timeline right back to the boot, the absolute origin of our data flow, we're going to use a simple 4-question diagnostic on our through ball. Question 1, who sensed it? Well, the answer isn't just a referee anymore. The official match ball itself, the adidas TRIONDA, is our primary sensor. Sitting dead center inside the ball is a state-of-the-art inertial measurement unit. So the very second that midfielder makes contact, this chip captures the exact, undeniable kick point.
Which brings us to question 2. What moved? According to FIFA, this internal sensor pulses 500 times every single second, 500 hertz. Every tiny nuance of the ball's movement is transformed into real-time data, shooting like a thin, invisible data path straight from the pitch directly to the video operation room. This happens instantly, defining the exact microscopic frame the ball was played.
Let's move to part 2, the offside decision engine, driven by advanced SAOT. Now, the ball's data is awesome, but it's really only half the equation, right? To know if our striker is onside, we also have to track the players. Enter the advanced semi-automated offside technology, or SAOT. Looking down from the stadium roof are 12 dedicated tracking cameras, and they aren't just watching the game, they are capturing up to 29 individual skeletal data points on every single player, mapping all their relevant limbs and extremities 50 times a second. So, how does this all come together? Our third diagnostic question is, who interprets it? Well, initially, it's the artificial intelligence. The AI continuously merges that 500 Hz TRIONDA ball data with the 50 Hz skeletal tracking data. Because it's processing both streams at once, it can automatically and instantly flag if an attacker receives the ball from an offside position at the precise fraction of a second it was played by their teammate. What's absolutely fascinating here is the sheer speed. In the past, this data had to bounce through a video room first. But now, clear positional offsides completely bypass the middleman. If the AI detects a mathematical offside, it triggers an automated audio alert directly to the assistant referees on the pitch, instantly. This massively reduces the time it takes to raise the flag, which is crucial because it actually helps lower the injury risk for players who'd otherwise keep sprinting through an offside play. Up next, part 3, the human authority chain and validating the data. Let's see what happens when a situation isn't just simple math. We know the AI is the initial interpreter, but we have to ask, who really makes the final call? When things get ambiguous, the human steps right back in. Think about it. The AI knows exactly where a player is physically, but it has zero idea about intent. If an offside player is standing near the goalkeeper but doesn't actually touch the ball, are they interfering with the keeper's line of sight? AI just can't make that subjective call. So the human video assistant referee, or VAR, steps into this decision loop to manually validate the AI's proposed kick point and offside line and figure out the interference aspect. And that leads to our final diagnostic question. What happens if that layer can't decide or the system just fails? Well, we hit a system fallback. If the semi-automated tech malfunctions or the VARs simply don't agree with the AI's line, the officials don't just throw up their hands and guess. They revert immediately to traditional manual crosshairs and triangulation tools. So the architecture always has a built-in safety net.
You gotta remember, the authority chain always ends with a human standing on the grass. SAOT is strictly a support tool. The on-field referee always holds the absolute final say. But once that referee makes the call, another incredible piece of tech kicks in. FIFA actually partnered with Lenovo to 3D scan all 1,248 participating players. So the moment the ref confirms the decision, those exact positional data points generate a hyper-realistic 3D broadcast replay using the actual player avatars. It makes the decision instantly obvious to millions of fans watching worldwide. Moving to part 4. Goal line tech is different, operating on a completely separate infrastructure. Since we've mapped out the offside tech, we need to explicitly untangle it from something people constantly confuse it with: goal line technology. Advanced SAOT uses those 12 roof cameras and the TRIONDA ball sensor, right? But goal line tech is an entirely different beast. It uses 14 separate high-speed cameras focused purely on the goal mouths. And here's the kicker. FIFA explicitly states that goal line tech does not use the sensor inside the TRIONDA ball to determine if a goal was scored.
It operates as an entirely isolated loop. Its one and only job is to answer a single binary question: did the whole of the ball cross the line? It processes the visual data from its own 14 cameras and shoots a signal in under 1 second to trigger a vibration and a visual alert directly on the match official's watches. No ball sensor, no complex AI intent interpretation, just simple, lightning-fast visual geometry. Finally, part 5. Expanding the data ecosystem at the Dallas IBC. Let's zoom way out from our single through-ball pass and look at where all this interconnected match data actually goes. Beyond the 12 offside cameras and the 14 goal line cameras, there's a completely separate array of 16 optical tracking cameras in every single stadium. These things produce over 150 million tracking data points per match. Every sprint, every pass, every shift information is captured and funneled straight into a massive network layer at the International Broadcast Center down in Dallas. In previous tournaments, FIFA would literally hand this data over in massive 60-page PDF reports. You needed an army of analysts just to make sense of it. But for 2026, all this data feeds directly into a generative AI assistant called Football AI Pro. Like FIFA's Director of Innovation, Johannes Holtzmüller, said, the goal is to democratize the tech. By giving all 48 teams access to Football AI Pro, they're completely leveling the analytical playing field, no matter how big or small a federation's budget might be. And this same network layer in Dallas is handling one more massive innovation: referee view. First trialed at the Club World Cup, match officials will actually wear body cams. Thanks to a proprietary algorithm from Lenovo, the crazy motion blur of a referee sprinting down the pitch is totally corrected and stabilized. It brilliantly merges these cold, high-tech data streams with a warm, grounded first-person view of the game, bringing the fans right down onto the grass. Which brings us to the end of our micro-timeline. We've traced one single pass from a 500 Hz ball sensor up to a 12-camera AI roof array, down to a human VAR validation, and out to a massive data center, democratizing football analytics. But it leaves us with a fascinating final thought. As the beautiful game continues to be quantified hundreds of times every single second, where exactly does digital precision end and the nuanced art of human judgment begin? Thanks so much for hanging out for this explainer. Next time a player threads a through ball, you know exactly what's happening in the hidden digital world beneath the pitch.